you want to do more for less? That's what everybody wants to do. Anybody who does it tries anything: sports, language, especially English. Everybody wants to do more for less. Everybody wants to be able to speak more and use less energy. So, how are you going to do that? How are you going to communicate more, have more fun with communication, and use less energy? I think there are three aspects, three things that we can think about when we're trying to speak more, have more fun with less energy. And the first one is adaptation. Adapt. We need to adapt. I'll show you the word. There's the word. Adapt. What does adapt mean? Well, adapt means getting used to something, getting used to a new situation, getting used to a new physical expectation. The next thing we need to do is agency. Have agency. And I think that's going to be the key word for the coming time. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but agency is going to be key for anyone in the future. And I think language can help with that. And the way to do it, how can we do it? It's with progressive overload, doing a little bit more each day. And in the end, or when you're satisfied, you'll be doing a lot more than when you started, and you'll be using a lot less energy. So let's take the first one, adaptation. Adapt. If I want to move a lot of water, say I want to move enough water into a 100-liter tank, and I have to carry it with a bucket. I may have to start out with a small bucket. Maybe I don't have the strength or the coordination to move a large bucket or 2 buckets. But then if I adapt, if I build my strength over time, I can move 2 buckets maybe, and then 2 full buckets, and I can fill that 100-liter tank much quicker than just with 1 bucket. Adapting, building strength, building some kind of strength. That is essential for language learning too. I don't think they call it adapt. I've never heard anyone say that they're adapting to a culture, or adapting to a new lifestyle. But adaptation in language isn't something I hear very often, maybe ever. But I think adaptation is important. Listening, like I talked about last time, listening a lot. Adapting your ear to hearing more words quicker and easier. That's adaptation. Saying more, talking more over time. That's adaptation. It's not easy. It's like anything, like maybe getting stronger with a bucket full of water. It'll take a little bit of time to get your muscles to be stronger, to be coordinated enough to carry the water and not spill it up the hill or wherever you're taking it. The next thing that I think is important with any kind of language learning and I think going on into the future, is agency. I suggest that my students do not use AI. The reason I think that is because AI can remove our agency. Now, what does agency mean? Agency means the ability to think and do for ourselves. Jishusei is the word in Japanese. Jishusei is what I mean by that. Having agency, is going to be very important in the coming years, because I'm sure my students think, look, I don't need to learn English. I can use AI to communicate. You can, but there's no agency in that. You don't need to adapt. That's certainly true. You don't need to take the time and effort to adapt. That's true. But you don't have the agency, the ability to move and do things for yourself. That is very important. Now, how do we get that agency? How do we get adaptation and the agency to move ourselves forward? I think this word comes from the physical fitness world. I'm interested in physical fitness, and so I look at videos from time to time. Progressive overload. Progressive means gradual, little by little, moving up, little by little. Overload, meaning working to failure. Overload. Overload means too much to carry, too much to lift, too far to run. And we do that little by little. Failure is an important part of the process. Do it to failure. Lift weights to failure to grow big muscles. Run long distances to failure for long running ability. Progressive overload. Little by little, increase the effort to failure. Failure is essential in the process. So finally, the process I mentioned, the process of progressive overload, the process of becoming better in a foreign language. One thing is to listen to your target language a lot. Listen a lot. Listen hard. Listen till your brain hurts. When I first started learning Japanese, that's the way it was. A 1-hour class of Japanese made me feel exhausted. But now I can stand up in front of a class and speak for 3 hours. No, 3 periods. So 4.5 hours. I can talk for 4.5 hours in one day. And I'm tired, but I'm not as tired as I was in one Japanese class when I first started. The second one is imitate when you're listening. Imitate the people you're listening to. Imitate what they say. Say it like you think you hear it. Listen to those people. Say what they say out loud. Not just in your head. Not just, oh yeah, I think I understand that. Say it while you're listening to it. Then experiment by interacting with other people. Experiment with what you've learned. So if you've got a class that you go to once a week, if you've got your English language circle, we'll talk about this next week, is groups. You've got to have a group. A group is essential. Go talk with your group. Talk with your teacher or someone. Try out the things that you've experienced over the week and see if it works. If it doesn't work, that's okay too. You've learned something there. But try it out with a group. Then evaluate what worked well, what didn't work well. Think about what you said, what you heard, the interactions you had, what worked well, what didn't work well. Evaluate it, and then return to your listening. Go back to your listening for the rest of the week. That's where to start. You don't need books. You don't need paper to write on. Listening, speaking. Do it a lot. Do it to failure. So my point today is learning a language is adaptive. We gain some muscle control. We gain some nervous control. We accumulate a group of skills. It's adaptive. It's kind of like doing work that you couldn't do before, but progress. Next one is agency. Maintain your agency. Be able to do it on your own. Be able to do the work on your own. And then progressive overload. Do it little by little, over the week. Do it some today, some tomorrow, little by little, until you can't do it anymore. Oh, I've reached my limit today. I'm going to stop. And then do that more the next day, and until you reach your limit and you say, oh, I've failed. And then, yeah, I've done enough. And then move on to the next one. Move on to the next day. That's how I suggest you think about learning a foreign language. Not how many English, any language patterns, grammar, or vocabulary you can learn, or phrases. Don't think about it that way. Think about it like a physical activity. It's a physical activity. So think about it that way. Thanks for coming along today. Hope you got something you can take home and try out on your own. Have a good day. Goodbye.